probably some other guys from the league that nobody cares about.
You're listening to the Week 10 preview edition of the Circle of Jerks. Thanks for joining us. You've got the Bob Hartman, next to Petar Lundsteed, getting his margarita refilled, which is good for you, bad for us. You got Jer Bear, the Raging Bonet.
I earned it in the preview.
You did.
Recap.
Yeah, you did earn the Raging Bonet. Raging against his own
The
team.
whole time you were talking.
You got Cannonball Kurt. There it is. You got the commish John Chattergoon with the consolation pop.
Just a snort.
And you've got hashtag Congo Sucks.
Hey.
We really need a better nickname for it than that.
Yeah.
I kind of like Congo Sucks.
Dog with a
His
bone.
nickname should match his save percentage, so we're good.
Oh! Wow.
I don't get
Okay, well, we're starting out strong here. So this is the Week 10 preview edition. Haven't seen the Avatar yet. I'm sure it's going to be entertaining. So let's start with the overall standings heading into the last week of the regular season. You've got a Tribe Called Quest right now in first place at 16 points. Wu-Tang Clan in second place with 14 points. Third place, NWA at 11. Fourth, Furious 5 with 10. Fifth, Run DMC with 8. Public Enemy and the Roots are both tied at 7 points, but Public Enemy has the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Roots, so Public Enemy in 6th and the Roots at 7th, and Sugar Hill Gang in 8th with 2 points.
Right where we want to be.
Right where they want to be. That was their
Gotcha.
plan the whole season long, and honestly, I've heard some rumblings that they really want to rematch against a Tribe Called Quest in the playoffs. So
I've never seen a
all right, so not rumblings, overt, explicit statements
I've
that
never
they
seen
want
a
to play a
plan
Tribe Called
executed
Quest.
so flawlessly.
We're good at what we do. In the first and third.
In terms of the standings, so we're going to pick the games as we do every week. Last week, we had 3 guys go 4 for 4. Did I get that right? Yeah. Pete, Kurt, John, and Tim Scott, our guest, all went 4 for 4. So 4 guys went 4 for 4. Conco and yours truly went 3 for 4. We both picked the Roots wrong. Jeremy went 2 for 4, so his home or away strategy is still working at 50% for him. Go figure. And 2-time guest Matt Galuli goes 1 for 4, just like he did last time he guessed. So he's 2 for 8, which is actually worse than Jeremy. So he's a guest, so he doesn't have his own score, but I had to point that out, that he's really not good at picking games. Overall on the season, yours truly is in first place, 24 for 32 at 75%. Just 1 game now ahead of Petar. A lot more games in the actual standings ahead of Petar. But in terms of picks,
Ouch.
yeah, that was a dick
harsh.
move.
Yeah, just like me.
Yeah, there you go. So it's like both
Works
of us. Pete's 23 for 32 at 72%. Cannonball Kurt is 21 for 32 at 66%. Our guests collectively are 17 for 32 at 53%. We got some CSI bullshit going on across the table from us. Hashtag Conco Sucks is in 5th place right now, 15 for 32, just a little bit under 50% at 47%. John Chattergoon's in 6th place right now, 13 for 28 at 46%. And Jer Bear, a couple of 50% weeks has lifted him up a little bit, but he's still in last place, 12 for 32 at 38%.
Exactly
Right where
where
I
I
want
want to be.
You know there's no playoffs in this, right?
Jared loves it on the bottom.
Okay, so Jer Bear, do you want to take us through the schedule for Week 10, which is going to be an epic week?
I sure do.
Instant classic.
6:30, we have Run DMC at the Furious 5. 7:30 game, we have a Tribe Called Quest at Wu-Tang. 8:30, we have Pubic Enema at NWA. 8:30 game. And 9:30, we have the Roots at the Sugar Hill Gang.
All right, so 6:30, Run DMC at Furious 5. In Week 1, Run DMC won 12-11. Close game all the way back at the beginning of the season, and both teams were at full strength. As far as we know, Brett will be subbing in for Tim Scott in that game.
For now.
As far as we know, although I think his team might have to talk to Brett about that after his 2 back-to-back games this past week, although I hope they don't. because we played him next. So as is typically the tradition, no one in this room is in this game, is there? Okay, never mind. No tradition. So anyone can talk about this game. I think this is a few of our game of the weeks. Whose game of the week is this?
Hands down, absolutely. I mean, this game is going to be, to me, probably one of the best games of the year. You're talking about Furious 5, who has been up and down for most of the year, had a few game losing streaks, and really been the second half of the season one of the best teams and one of the scariest teams that you're going up against. But then you're going against Run DMC, who's on a 3-game winning streak, and then going against Zach, who is ready for playoffs. And on top of that, this is a team that's been in 7th place for most of the year until they just jumped up into the 5th place spot. A win this week, no matter what, unless they go into overtime.
Right.
Unless they go into
Overtime always screws stuff up.
If Run DMC beats Furious 5 without going into overtime, they jump over Furious 5. You're telling me that Zach and team is not pumped up for this game as they've been in 7th place? Hands down, this to me is, and no Tim Scott once again. Brett's potentially going to be subbing or maybe not subbing, depending on how his team tells him. But I think this is going to be Run DMC's game. Hands down.
So Pete, interesting note though. If Run DMC wins that game, who do they play next week?
They play Furious 5.
Yeah. So that's crazy to me that if Run DMC wins this week, they get the 4 seed. Great, good for you. Guess what? You have to play Furious 5 again next week. Anyway, because they end up the 5.
But you're 2-0 against them on the season.
Well, how hard is it to beat a team 3 times in the same season?
I'm sure the tribe will find out.
That's not this game yet. That's not this game.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
And Pete, you're right though. Run DMC.
Jump on it though.
Yeah, Jeremy's laying it on thick. Run DMC is on a 3-game winning streak, but don't forget, Furious 5 has won 5 of their last 6 games. These are the 2 hottest teams in the league right now.
Yeah, but they won 2 against us.
Yeah, okay, so 3 of their last 6 games, not counting the Roots.
Were people saying this was going to be their chance, or was it the Roots or Tribe?
No. I think to me the championship game was Furious 5 against ATCQ. That's what Bob and I were possibly talking about. But I mean, this game could really show what playoff.
Yeah.
I think this is the perfect 6:30 matchup to show exactly what playoffs are going to be.
I think everyone should come.
Yeah, I'm not always
6:30.
there on time for a 6:30 game, but
Yeah.
this one I will.
we should
You
add
should
Commissioner.
make it. It's week 10. Come on and
Can
see
this
it.
be the
we
free
can't
game?
make Furious 5 the game of the week like 3 weeks in a row, though. I mean,
They play
Why?
that
They
intense.
seem to really thrive on the crowd passion.
or can we flex
Let's
them
just.
into
I'll
another
announce
spot?
this now. I was saving this for a special occasion, but free admission to all 4 games this week.
Oh man, that's really
All the
nice.
riffraff. All the riffraff's going to come in now.
Brian Marvin, you hearing this? Free.
Marvin's on top of
Yeah,
me,
bro.
Yeah.
Open bar.
To me, there's some interesting styles here. Run DMC passes a lot, and they like to shoot high, which it would be tough for Brett if he's going to sub in this game because Brett doesn't have a lot of weaknesses. But if you're going to be passing back and forth and shooting high on him, he can be susceptible to that. The, Run DMC has a 48% assist to goal ratio, the second best in the league. But they both teams shoot a lot. They're the 3rd and 4th highest on shots on goal with 62 and 60 shots on goal. 62 for Furious 5 and 60 for Run DMC. But Furious 5 needs those shots on goal because they're the least efficient in scoring. They only score on 16.4% of all of their shots on goal, compared to 18.6% for Run DMC. So to me, that says that Run DMC really needs to clear out rebounds. And luckily for Run DMC, the last couple of weeks, JJ and Chris Masakowski and D'Angelo and Rob Masson even. Rob Masson's not always known for his defense, but he's really been stepping up in terms of clearing out rebounds, clearing out shots, or attempts. They've all been stepping up.
It's like the whole team.
Who do you think
It
is going to be
is.
taking? Who's taking this game then?
I think it's Run DMC. I think Run DMC is hungrier, and they're clicking at a team. They're clicking as a team, but just a disclaimer: I'm way under 500 any Furious 5 game I've picked so far this season.
It's tough. It's tough to go against Furious 5. I mean, we got 2 guys at two guys going for Run DMC right now on your favorite 6. So, Conka, what do you think about this game?
I'm gonna go Run DMC because
Whoa.
Okay, you know what? Now they're going to lose because Paul is listening
Damn
to
it!
this.
Come on,
and
seriously,
3 in a row
guys,
have picked
come
against
on.
him.
well, they gave us so.
I'm
many
changing my
fits.
pick.
They gave us so many fits last game, just clogging up the lanes, blocking Mike Bryan's shot, especially Zach.
Just like my
Zach, that's
arteries.
one of Zach's kind of more underrated qualities, is he can block shots very well. And
Wait, who's this Zach guy
His
that you're
ability
talking
to
about?
play defense is going to come in big time this game. And I think that, no matter who's subbing in net for Tim, they're just going to be able to get the right shots on net and beat him.
All right, that Chattergoon or Cannonball? What do you guys think?
I'll go ahead. I don't know if Furious 5 got the message, but it's Christmas time in Hollis, Queens.
Nice.
Run DMC's taking this one.
Awesome.
I don't.
I just think
This
that
is not going well for
Ramsey
us. This
Ramsey
is not going well for
plays
us.
well against Paul. He might not be lights out, but if you play well against Paul, you're giving your team a chance.
All right, Jeremy or Kurt, what do you guys think?
We're burying ourselves.
I'm with Run DMC on this one.
Oh, shit.
No.
I know. You know what? Hey, I think who in this room has not played a hard fought game against Furious 5?
I haven't.
You didn't fight very hard. All right. I'm just saying, Furious 5, I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just thinking when I see the Zach versus Paul show, Tim's not in it, right?
No, he's
Yeah. So I mean, there's it was almost my game of the week. I have another game of the week, but
No, this is the game of the week.
all right. I stand corrected. Okay. Here, you can zip up and put that back in your pants now, Peter. I'm still going with Run DMC. How about you, Jer Bear?
Fuck no.
Whoa.
I was waiting for
Nice.
that.
We got a 2 and 4.
Furious 5
God.
will take this game.
Why?
Because I've said so.
Good point.
No, Brett Siebert, if he subs, you're getting Brett on the first game, so he's not gonna be as tired as he was after 2 games in a row. I feel like he's right now he's at the Clubhouse Fun Center, or no, Adventure Landing, because they have batting cages, and he's standing.
Happy Gilmore style.
just 65 more days
of Stardom.
But the difference is he's not letting out a sound. He's just sitting there getting ready for this game. I feel like after 2 games last week with a subpar save percentage from what he's used to, he's going to come back, and he's going to come back in a huge way in this game. And I feel like
For the team,
for
not
the
his
team that he's
team.
not even playing for.
If he,
You don't
if-
think he's
if-
thinking deep into the playoffs?
No, I don't think so. I think that he wants to get back to that form so that, I think that he wants to be in contention for goal year. I feel like he's got snubbed on it in years past, and I feel like that he's gunning for it this year, and what better way to make a statement by not only playing well for your team, but playing well for every team that you play for. With that being said, like, Furious 5, what the fuck, man? You got to get a game 1 week with no controversy whatsoever with your game. Like, especially after a game like that, they're going to come out and they're going to come out firing, and I feel like Run DMC, although they're playing well, I think Brett plays better than Ramsey in this game, and that's the seals the deal for Furious 5.
I have to point out from a stats perspective, the majority of the Circle of Jerks have picked against Furious 5 4 times this season, and all 4 times Furious 5 has won.
Well, how many times have I picked right?
Probably never.
So,
In week 4, 4 of us picked Sugar Hill over Furious 5, and Furious 5 won. Jeremy, you picked wrong there. In week 5, 5 of the 6 of us picked the Roots over Furious 5, and Furious 5 won. Jeremy, you picked wrong there. In week 6, all of us picked Wu-Tang over Furious 5, and Furious 5 won, so Jeremy, you're wrong there. And in week 7, 4 of us picked Public Enemy, and 2 of us picked Furious 5. Jeremy, you picked Furious 5 there.
fuck yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did.
So
So
did I.
you're 1 for 4
But I
picking
also
those
feel like
games.
I've never picked Public Enemy.
Yeah, that's probably true too. So all that to say, when the majority of us pick against Furious 5,
Yeah.
they put it on their bulletin board. They chant it together in some Gregorian chant together as a
Yeah,
team
they
building
do.
exercise at Charlie Brown.
So congrats, Jerry Bear. Good first game
Yeah.
win. Congrats, man.
Yeah. So Jeremy will win
Yep.
that
Nice
that
work.
game.
Nice work.
7:30, A Tribe Called Quest at Wu-Tang Clan. Kurt, John, and I are all playing in it, so we will try to withhold our commentary.
And
until the
no
other
Pat
guys
is
go.
no Pat, right? For
Yeah.
ATCQ, is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah, week 4, Wu-Tang Clan won 9-7, and both teams were at full strength. And this week A Tribe Called Quest is missing Pat C and all of his corresponding ladies.
So this is a game that really could have been the game of the week. I mean, I think pretty much every game this week is the game of the week. This is week 10. Everyone's playing for something. Man, this was a difficult game to pick for me simply because Brett is playing in the game before. If Brett was not playing in the game before, I would say hands down this is Wu-Tang's week. A Tribe's week, even without Pat playing. The problem is that since Brett is playing the game before, I think this is going to be much more, and it just depends on now what game we're going to see out of Joe and John. I have to go ATCQ. I have question marks at the end of this. I have to go ATCQ for this game because I think that they want to be first place overall. I think they're going to step up big time, even though that they're missing Pat in the game, and I think that's going to be difficult. But it's going to come down to the wire. You didn't see Jeff had 3-1 last week, but Furlano did not have much in last game, so I think he's going to have a big week against Alex, and it's going to come down to the wire. I don't see it going into overtime. I see ATCQ taking the win just briefly before the horn sounds.
I'm going to go Wu-Tang Clan because all the reasons you just mentioned, I see going against Tribe Called Quest, and it's going to be too tough for him, being down Pat, and then Brett having played the game before if he does play. He's going to be too tired. I mean, I'm not saying that he's not a bad... Or he's,
Well, that's
bad
why
player.
he's not going to play that game.
We're still talking about that. And when I say we, I mean
I
I'm
think
thinking that.
I think
I'm
Kurt
Don't
was
be a
texting
dick.
him.
Let him
I'm
play.
gonna
Don't let him play.
The other issue is if he said yes already, it's going to be tough to get another goalie in there for the 6:30 game. So,
Yeah.
so that's really the biggest.
I'm
thing.
willing to do it.
You know what? I'm willing to do it in the spirit of Y Sports. Why not? Rochester Hockey League. That's how we go.
Yeah.
Balls out or nothing.
Pucks out.
Yeah. Pucks out.
Bowling balls.
Jeremy, who you got?
Tribe Called Quest. Strictly because we want them week 11. So my team is behind me on this thought that we're going to will them a victory against the Wu-Tang Clan just so they have
Motivation.
Have you guys been good at willing yourselves a victory?
moral victories.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're really good at those. Not last week, though, because apparently you hate your entire team.
No. A lot of that was just a frustration from myself. I know I was hard on those guys. And again, I don't really want to talk about my team until the 9:30 game.
Well, so far, you're 2 for 2 for talking about them anyway.
Shit. You got me there. But a lot of that was frustration. And I feel like Brett, because he wants to make that impact and stand out as the goalie, like I said, I feel like he's deserved it in seasons past where he didn't.
Because this is his chance. This is his chance to not only win goalie of the year, but MVP.
And I feel like, we only based it on regular season stats, so he's got to go out with a bang. I feel like he's going to have a big game. I feel like Wu-Tang, maybe they strategize. Maybe they try to get the best matchup for them, and maybe they kind of play with those implications. I wouldn't be surprised to see some teams take that into consideration with do we win this game and take this matchup, or do we lose and take this matchup? I don't know that teams have ever done that in the past, but at the same time, you got a lot of guys on the Wu-Tang side that strategize and can make those types of decisions. But
Yeah, on that note, we can't. And actually, yeah, we got a lot of guys on the team, namely, I'm one of them, and I've been looking at this matchup and looking at the schedule, and the 7:30 game just kind of screws me in terms of trying to strategize because games 3 and 4 would really determine who is the 7 seed. So if Run DMC loses the first game, they could be the 7, but they could still be as high as the 5 even if they lose. So we're at the mercy of the Roots game. We're at the mercy of the Public Enemy game. I wish that we had an NBC contract so we could flex our game to the 9:30 spot so we could see how everyone else played first. But, we don't have that contract yet. But you're right, Jeremy. I mean, in my notes I've got we want to win to build confidence, but is the number 1 seed playing against Sugar Hill Gang really all that much better than the number 2 seed against the Roots or against Public Enemy right now? Teams that we've beat, that Wu-Tang Clan has beat. We beat Public Enemy twice. We beat the Roots before. I don't know if it is better or not. So,
there's really no ideal matchup with this season, and that's the crazy thing about it is there's no clear. There's a clear 8 seed, but talent-wise, there's no.
But
clear
even
8
that
seed.
doesn't amount to a whole lot.
even that, I don't think a Tribe Called Quest wants to play you guys
No, they said
the
so.
first week.
They
And,
said so.
We would like a bye week, actually. That's
and
what
I'm not
were
sure
hoping
we do
for.
Like
either.
a fine chick.
You just have to try and.
What do you want to do to her?
Okay, hold on. Back to the game.
Take her to the hedonism resort.
So Jer Bear picked a tribe called Quest. I'm gonna just come out and say I'm picking my team. I'm picking my squad. I like the confidence we played with last week. I like the intensity we got back to, even if I'm screaming profanities from the bench.
Hey, you're like me.
In order to win, we need to execute perfectly. We beat a tribe called Quest, the only team to beat a tribe called Quest, and 9-7. Like, it wasn't a blowout, but it wasn't one of our overtime victories either. And it's because we executed flawlessly. We did not execute flawlessly last week, but
Or
we
the week
built.
before.
Or the
No,
week
but
before,
against
the week before,
the
the
tribe,
week
you
before.
guys executed you executed your game plan to perfection against us.
Yeah, we got Kyle, who's like a dog with a bone when it comes to shutting down
It's-
Strachan.
It's
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of or for
He's only gonna have one
he
goal.
has a list of it, but
Yeah.
I mean, you guys. That's when I think Wu Tang became known for what you guys do.
Yeah,
And
and
the
you know,
Wu became Wu.
And the only other thing I'll say about the game, I'm not going to talk about a lot of stats or anything because there really isn't that much, I think, stat-wise in this game. It's just going to come down to execution. We're the only team to beat Brett, and we beat him twice. So I will throw that out there. We beat Brett in the regular season in week 4, and we beat him when he subbed in. And he hasn't. Those are the only 2 losses he's had all season long.
Yeah.
You really gotta count that.
Yeah.
That week 9 loss with the second sub. Yeah, okay.
You're gonna count that.
Yeah,
You're gonna count
all
that.
right.
You're gonna count that win.
Oh,
We'll give it to you.
I'm sorry. Did the score count it? Is
No,
it-
they
is it on the- is it on the
definitely.
standings? Does
No,
the standings
it
count it?
definitely counted. Sure.
Is he probably sitting right now, home, silently dwelling on it?
I
Probably
think that,
not.
Yeah. You know what, Bob? We'll give you the moral victory on that one.
I bet you at home he's loud as fuck.
He's killed him.
Mom, the meatloaf.
You want me to?
Just to,
Kurt, John, who wants to? Oh, sorry, Jeremy, you're gonna say
I
something.
was just gonna clarify. The buy check was just to do stats.
Oh, okay, got it.
And hit the punch.
And
I hope it's a girl who is hitting that heavy bat.
Cannonball.
That
Who are
was
you picking?
awesome. You know, what do I have right here, Jer Bear?
What? I don't know.
What is that?
You crossed out your own team, and then did a backslash, and then wrote Wu Tang put together with no space.
Exactly. Well, thank you for the fucking English lesson. But
I'm still bitter.
no, I did pick
Wait,
Wu-Tang.
so who did you pick?
I picked Wu-Tang in this.
Wow.
I know.
Picking against
And
your
you
own
know
guys.
what? I'm
Because
having
you know what my
I'm having a
sugar
lot of cognitive dissonance on this because yes, because
The bitch moved
I've actually like Jared Bear, I pick my team every week.
Don't throw this game, Kurt.
But I'm not throwing the game. I'm saying I'm looking at I'm doing you know me, I'm the algebra guy. I'm doing the math.
Are you?
And I'm just seeing I'm looking at it. We have no Pat. We have Brett playing the game before us. We have a really hungry Wu-Tang. And you guys proved last week you know how to fucking mount a comeback like no team I've seen. Three in a row. It was impressive. I was reffing that game, and I was impressed every time you guys came back for that.
How well did they?
We're up against that though, and here's the other thing. At the end of the night, all right, we're playing a great team no matter what when we go into the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is that.
I think it's more for pride and confidence.
It's you know. Well, have you seen my team play? Does it seem like pride and confidence is our first and
that's true.
foremost thing?
When I think of
And
Jeff
I
Burge
think-
and Mike Furlano, I'm not thinking of either of those two adjectives.
And honestly, that's kind of what came into my equation. I'm like, I don't think my team plays for the glory. We're playing. We love to win and we feel good about it, but like we're not like we don't go home and like beat our kids because we lost or anything.
Holy shit!
I mean, I beat my kids for totally different reasons.
That escalated
Anyway,
quickly.
I'm picking Wu-Tang. Side note to ATCQ. What an asshole I am. You guys should be so pissed at me. We're totally gonna kick
Oh,
their
I
ass.
see what he's doing here. This is
Yeah.
like reverse psychology.
Motivation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I learned it from a wise sage who walks the earth.
Yeah, but
Jared
he picks
Barabone.
his team every week.
Yeah, but it's
I mean,
worked.
they have
They're on.
team.
You know what?
Idiot.
They're on the upward
That's how you get
surge.
HD.
Anyway, that's where I'm going.
Is that
with
reverse,
How about
reverse,
you? How about you,
reverse?
Chattergoose?
Commish.
Now we get into like the cha-cha slide there.
In this scenario, a tribe called Quest is going to try and protect their neck, but Wu-Tang triumphs.
Holy fuck! Shut up.
Are you reading your own web updates to
No,
this,
those
or
are
your own
Wu-Tang
messages? Oh,
Okay. Well,
You haven't followed my theme. I did the same thing in the
Yeah,
first
but
game.
we're in a room full of
that
white
it?
guys. I'm the only
yeah,
one.
really.
that's
I know. I stand corrected. Wow.
I got it.
all right. Well, two
I'm
of you
calling
got it.
songs from both teams.
Well, we have ATCQ.
Oh, there it is.
Commish with a slow burn.
All right, so the commish picks Wu-Tang Clan. It's my game of the week. I wanted to make the first game my game of the week. I'm actually most excited about watching that game, but it's because I'm playing in the second game, and I think
We're all going to be at the
Commish
6:30
has also
game.
made it a free ticket night.
yeah.
so
So,
that's really nice.
so every game's
How
a game
can you
of the
not
week.
game of the week, regardless of talent on the floor? It's playing for first place.
Yeah, you're playing for first place overall. Even if the 8 or the 7 isn't that big of a difference in
Wait, wait,
talent, I think
You're
it's
doing
still-
free games for 6:30 and 7:30 game.
And 8:30 and 9:30.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Steve Schultz
So-
is paying for it.
So the league's taking a hit this one.
He's covering
Who's
everybody's
Steve? Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah,
Scott
he's-
Schultz.
Thanks.
Scott, yeah. So and I forgot to mention this too. If a Tribe Called Quest takes the game to overtime, regardless, a Tribe Called Quest takes the number 1 seed. So even if Wu-Tang Clan wins, if Wu-Tang has to take it to overtime, which we've done 3 times so far this season, a Tribe Called Quest will take the number 1 overall. And at that point, we're just playing for who's got the prettiest goal. Which, spoiler alert, it's Joe Gant. 8:30, Public Enemy at NWA. In week 3, NWA won 8-6, but Public Enemy was missing Matt Galuli, and NWA was missing Jamie Habitsruther. So, Public Enemy missing Fern Gully, and NWA missing Mouthful of Letters, Habitsruther, Jamie Baby Ruther. Okay. Baby. We had a Baby Ruther. So, Conco is playing in this game, so he will abstain until the end. Who wants to go first on this one?
This game to me is really intense. Public Enemy has not played up to their par over the past 3 or 4 weeks. I mean, they had a couple games at the 6:30 game where I don't think they play their best at the 6:30 game, and they've talked about it a couple times. I talked to Matt ahead of time as well as Chris that they just don't have enough time to prepare, to stretch out, and to just be ready for it. So having the 8:30 game gets them set up. But the fact of the matter is, I think NWA is really poised. They want the number 3 spot. If they win this game, the fact of the matter is, no matter what, they get the number 3 spot. So I have all of these lights on me, which is my favorite thing in the world. And I think NWA is going to take this game over Public Enemy, even though it's at the 8:30 spot, because I think Conco's going to have a great game. They're having a full team back, and I think they're just going to take Bill and break him down. And it's going to be a tight game, but NWA is going to come out overall.
You know, I agree. I'm picking NWA as well. But to me, it all comes down to quality looks and puck possession. So the goalies, I think, are equal. I don't think one goalie is going to do better than the other. I think Bill and Conco are having comparable years, and I think that they kind of cancel each other out. Pete disagrees with me, but that's fine.
No, Conco sucks.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Conco sucks. Public Enemy has allowed the most shots on goal. Public Enemy has allowed 65 shots on goal per game. But NWA has the second worst shot on goal differential at negative 40.
What?
They've allowed 40 more shots on goal than they've taken. It is absurd. And
My
NWA,
bad.
it's because NWA doesn't shoot enough. They're last in the league with only 56 shots per game, and Public Enemy is first in the league in shots on goal with 63 per game. They're both middle of the road in goals allowed. You know, Public Enemy is the third most goals, NWA the second fewest allowed. You know, or the second fewest goals for. Those stats don't matter as much. So to me, it all comes down to quality looks and puck possession. And I think Galuli's hands and passing and court awareness and Enright's running show is going to match up against Mike Bryant controlling the puck, going coast to coast, and then finding Jamie Habit's mouthful of letters and Sturgis. and I think at the end of the day, those kind of, again, cancel out. And Newberry's defense, I think at the end of the day, Newberry's defense disrupts Enright.
He's good.
And Fos and Jamie just don't give Galuli enough room. They don't give Galuli the same amount of room that Wu-Tang Clan did last week. And I think that's the difference. I think it's NWA, and I think it's close.
Can I just go with what Bob said? Because I agree with all those points, and we'll make it quick for me.
Okay, quick for Kurt. Just like
I'm
his
with
love life.
NWA.
Whoa.
And Hedonist Resort. All right, Jerry Bear?
Is that it? Nice job.
I'm going with the pubes.
Oh boy,
I feel like
that's what I do when I get lazy.
after the last week's performance of Public Enemy, they kept coming back. Every time I would peek in from the outside of the track and You can take my eyes off.
Look like you're peeking on Joe Gant's hair.
Yeah. Every time I can take my eyes off his hair.
Of the Strack?
No, Joe Gant.
No, when he's looking through the window, you look like
Yeah.
a Keebler elf. Looking
Jesus
in it.
Christ, can I finish?
Depends on who you're with.
Yeah. So they just kept coming back. There's no quit in them last week. Enright, I think, actually looked at Tim Anderson and said, "I can't quit you." But I feel like they have a really big week this week. I'm going out on a limb because I don't think I've ever picked them before, but I think Public Enemy takes this one against NWA.
Yeah, I agree. Enright and Anderson do have a way to will goals into existence.
Commish. And by the way, Jeremy, you have never picked Public Enemy.
Told you.
No, yes, he has.
Nope.
Oh, no.
No, you haven't.
Sure have not. After they beat us that first week, it was all spiked.
They were dead to
You
it.
were really pissed off at that.
Yeah.
You've never.
I think the Public Enemy is going to try to fight the power.
Oh my
But
god.
There we go.
NWA is going to express themselves on the scoreboard.
So the commish picks NWA. Conco, everyone else has picked.
Fucking Janet Jackson over here.
Or NWA,
No, you're definitely Janet Jackson.
All right,
probably.
So,
Who knows?
4 of us have picked
You're
NWA. Jer Bear, the one worst at picking games with Public Enemy. What do you think, Conco?
I'm gonna align myself with Jer Bear because
Whoa!
Because he's motivating
seems
his
it-
team.
Yeah,
You're laying with the
motivated by
Jerry
you.
Bear?
Yeah.
Well, last game.
Last time you
All
motivated.
right, last
the team
time.
was
Let's
against
go
us.
back even further. Last time we played them, they didn't have Matt Galuli, and he's a pretty big difference maker. Not just as far as spreading out his team on the floor, but actually, what was he there or something?
No, he
Just
wasn't.
a spread.
Oh yeah, he's spreading him out on the
The hand
floor
motion you were making.
and setting up good passes and good shots. My team last game, we weren't on the same page chemistry wise, passing. We didn't know what the fuck we were doing.
Yeah, you did.
So hopefully with Mike coming back, we're going to be able to kind of get back to our own game. But I don't know. I feel confident playing against Pubic Enema, but
Not confident enough, apparently.
But also in the last 3 weeks now,
yeah.
9 and 8, you picked against your team.
motivation maybe.
So in week 9 you lost, but in week 8 you did. But the first 6 weeks in a row you picked your own team, and then in week 8, 9, and now 10 you're picking against yourself.
Trying to change it up a little bit, you know.
That
Try
was like
something
a
new.
loss of confidence to a psychologist.
Yeah, it doesn't. Free association.
Maybe we're
We
just flying
do
in
not
and-
want to do free association with this group
Maybe
of
you're
guys.
just setting yourself up for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've been doing that all season.
All right, 9:30 then. The Roots at Sugar Hill Gang. Pitar and Jer Bear are both playing this game, so they will wait until the end. In week 2, the Roots won 20-19. Highest scoring game of the season so far.
And ever.
And both teams were at full strength. So I'll start out a little bit. The Roots are on a bit of a schneid here. They've lost 5 straight. And meanwhile, Sugar Hill Gang, I think, is improving every week. I mean, they won 2 weeks ago. They lost last week, so it's not like they have any trend in terms of wins or losses. But I do think they're improving every week. And I think Gianni has Kenton's number. I think if there's one
Sucks.
matchup between
I feel like this season Kenton's number was on a bathroom stall.
Oh shit!
Jeez.
Jer Bear is ruthless.
That might change my pick.
But I mean, a
You
night.
better watch out when you walk out to your car at the Y. I'll tell you that.
You're gonna take a dump on your hood. A 19, give you a hot Conco. A 19-20 game in week 2, and Sugar Hill Gang has the 3rd fewest goals on the season. How do they score 19 goals, most of anyone except for one other team, the team that beat them by 20, and have the 3rd fewest on the season? It's because they know how to score against the Roots.
Because of math.
And meanwhile, the Roots have allowed the most goals out of any team. They're allowing 14 per game. And Sugar Hill Gang has allowed the 2nd most goal, only 1 less goal than the Roots on the season. Not per game, but on the entire season. So normally I would say the Roots would win because statistically they're scoring a lot more But because Steve is playing better in that, and because Sugar Hill Gang looks like they're on the up and up, and all of Sugar Hill Gang is clicking together as a team, and they know how to score on the Roots, I'm picking Sugar Hill Gang, and that's my first time picking them this season.
I still got to go with the Roots on this one. I picture Pete and Austin finally, like, it's going to be, there's like a light that's going to shine down in the gym. And unfortunately, it's going to shine
That's the
right on
6:30
Steve.
game.
It's gonna shine right on Steve, and they're gonna. I feel like they've got us. They're ready. You're primed. You guys are week 10. You know what? We're talking about Sugar Hill having something to prove. We know about Pete's competitive spirit. I think you guys have something to prove, and I'm feeling the Roots for this one.
I think this all comes down to, will Austin's mom let him go out this late for 9:30?
I've already written a note. We're good.
Okay. Well, I mean, that changes my pick.
Well, if his friends
to,
are driving.
Sugar Hill Gang. I'm picking Sugar Hill Gang because the way that I've seen them play defense around Steve and kind of help him out, he's stepped up his game and he's starting to get used to the play in the league. I think it's going to be very tough for him against Pete and Austin, but I think that Kenton's going to have a tough game, and I think Sugar Hill Gang is going to win.
John.
Jeremy, I think the Roots are going to try and break you off, but it will be a rapper's delight. Sugar Hill Gang takes this one.
I don't even want to follow that.
All right, Sugar Hill for John. So
I'm
far,
wearing my Schultz shirt this week.
This is like the early years of MTV right here.
so far, Kurt is the only one to pick the Roots. Pete, did you pick?
No, I've not picked yet.
That's so cool.
I guess it's on me then. So we're coming to this game. We had I don't even know if you can call it a big win against Sugar Hill. Our first time around, beating them 20-19. In that game, both Austin and I had a good amount of goals, but the reason that we won that game was really down to Andy having, I believe, 7 goals in that game. The facts of the matter is, I think Sugar Hill has really stepped up their game. This is going to be a double-digit scoring game, hands down.
For us.
For both teams, there is no way that this team does not come down to over 14 goals apiece. There's no way. It's not possible.
There's a will, there's a way.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And, by the way, Andy scored 6 goals and had an assist. 7-point night.
7-point night, and I think each of Austin and I had 5 and 1.
We're home though this week.
Austin, yeah, both you guys had 5 and 1.
You've got an editorial.
So the fact of the matter is
And
Austin.
Dang had 2 and 2, and Ian had 2 and 2.
Will do.
But
And
that's,
a
I mean,
penalty.
that's really what it's going to come down to is we need a complete scoring effort, and it's not just 1 point per team. Is we need at least 3 points from every single one of our lineup. This game is not going to come down to a 15-14 win. This is going to be past 15 goals for the game because either team is not going to be able to score. And Sugar Hill is playing so much better defense. Obviously, Steve and Net has been playing better. It's the reason that I'm picking Sugar Hill coming into this game.
Wow, I'm a sole believer in that.
Wow. And Pete, you've picked against your own
Assuming that I'm
team.
picking my own
No, you guys gave us hell last week. It was a tough one for me. So
I want to know if it's a close game like the last game you guys played. Will the Roots be able to compose themselves late and not make a mistake that'll cost them the game, which they've done 3 to 4 times this season?
Yeah. There've been a lot of mental errors.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to yell.
Assuming
about
it's close. Either way.
it. Depends
All
on who's reffing.
Jerry Bear, I'm waiting with bated breath. You've picked Sugar Hill Gang
I've already.
every single week this season, and for some reason, I feel like that streak's about to end.
No, I'm picking us.
I already put it in. Literally every single week, I already put Sugar
universe
Hill
is
in.
in balance. There
So-
we go.
I feel like hopefully my team's
No,
not.
oh,
Go ahead.
before you start, 5 of the 6 of us have picked Sugar Hill Gang. Before this, the most anyone has ever picked Sugar Hill Gang was 4 people picked you guys in week 4. But other than that, usually you get 1 or 2 picks per week.
You guys are all haters.
Yeah, haters gonna
I
hate.
pick you every week.
No, you didn't last week. Shut the fuck
Haters, realists, whatever you want to call
up. So, anyways, we're gonna win this game, and here's why. And I feel like my team listening to the recap, they probably are a little down on me right now. They feel
They
like
should
I'm probably
be.
a little hard on them. And a lot of it
really
was
hard on them.
You know, a lot of it was ribbing. A lot of it was just me getting my frustration.
Good-natured ribbing or the
That's
malicious?
probably not. It was probably malicious ribbing.
Ribbed for your pleasure
It
is what he
was
said.
it was Mick ribbing.
I don't use
That'll get you 5 years in Guam.
So, what, Mick ribs?
Where the fuck goes to Guam?
I don't know. Oh no, where did that kid get like a caning?
Listen,
Alright,
we're getting
anyway.
off track. We're
Getting off track?
We gotta wait until I get off track.
We're getting off
wasn't
track.
Guam,
Here. Getting off
for
track.
sure.
Getting off track.
You guys are keeping me on track right now. So,
Jerry Bear.
On track.
so I feel like as a team we're playing the best we've played all season. These past couple games, it's improving. Like I said, Steve Schultz is doing what we need him to do with that save percentage that he's putting up. It's on us. Because of that, little facts for you.
Oh boy.
So we have a guy on our team. His name's Dave King.
Yep.
I'm sure you guys know this. We also have a guy on our
You
team.
blew him last week, right?
Yeah.
What? Yes, I may have.
We also have a guy on our
It
team.
happened.
His name
That
is
happened.
Steve Schultz.
Yep.
I don't
Scott?
know. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie Django Unchained.
Yes.
No.
There's a character, Dr. King Schultz, in that movie, played by Christoph Waltz, the German actor. Because of Christoph Waltz,
the logic.
our team is going to take dancing lessons this week. We're going to learn how to waltz. It's really going to help us.
Is that from Paul?
This sounds like a conspiracy theory YouTube video.
Were there peanuts in your poop last week?
So, anyways, dancing lessons. It's going to help us with our passing and our 2-on-1s and the connecting with each other. It's really going to help us offensively. Another guy that was in that movie. I don't know if you guys know this about Django Unchained, but Leonardo DiCaprio was in the movie, and he just recently won an Oscar for a movie called The Revenant. And so to help us with clearing people out of the front of the net and
He also went down on a sinking ship too.
yeah, but listen, to help us, with our physical play and clearing people out of the net, we're gonna wrestle bears like in The Revenant to really build our strength training and
Wait,
people out
where
from the
did
front
bears
of the net.
come into this?
The Revenant, Kurt. Did you see the fucking Revenant?
Oh, you're talking about those kind of bears. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my god.
Kurt, you got a movie to catch.
I can't even make a point here. So, anyways, that's my reasoning. Dr. King Schultz.
Yeah, and apparently 9/11 was all orchestrated by the government. Too.
Jet fuels can't melt steel beams.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you sound like a YouTube truther video. Okay, well, so we have our picks. Quick recap: 5 of the 6 of us picking Run DMC with Jer Bear, the lone voice. 4 of the 6 of us picking Wu-Tang Clan with Jer Bear and Pitar picking A Tribe Called Quest. We have 4 out of the 6 of us picking NWA with Jer Bear and Conco Sucks picking Public Enemy. Sensing a theme here. And 5 of the 6 of us picking Sugar Hill Gang with only Cannonball Kurt picking The Roots.
That's my game of the week too.
Oh, and Pitar.
Which one?
Pitar.
The last one.
My game of the week's the third one. So I think every game of the week.
Yeah.
Every game has
Well,
a
you
game
should
of the
show
week.
up early and stay late and watch all of the
Seriously,
games.
guys, week 10 is the week to stick around
And
watch everything.
Commish, giving free tickets away for the
Well,
entire.
but everyone's playing for something this week. So I mean, in the playoffs, there's a lot to be decided. But right now, everyone's going for what they think is going to be best for their team.
I
So
hope
we'll
that
see.
girl's back to do stats.
I hope that girl's back to do the kickboxing. That was awesome too.
All right, so time for a quick
Gonna kick
rebuttal.
your bag, Kurt?
Pete Skidmore wants to clear the air. He did not shoot himself in the leg. It was his friend who was using an old like Soviet. What was it?
See, now here's where the embellishment takes on. Okay, I got to
He
take
shot.
off real quick, but I will mention Pete did tell me he was at a range with his friend, and Pete, I'm sure you will correct me if I'm wrong because that's what the internets are good for.
And Kurt's always wrong.
Yeah,
Wait, internets?
yeah. There's these tubes.
I thought it was the interwebs.
Al Gore made these tubes that shit
Listen, we're
goes
not
through.
talking about global warming.
Anyway,
Fallopian tubes?
huh?
What?
Whoa.
Anyway, Pete was with a friend who was using a weapon, and Pete takes, as Pete direct quote from Pete Skidmore, he takes his firearm safety very seriously.
he really
Standing
does.
behind him.
No, but most firearm enthusiasts I know are very serious about that too. They don't mess around, because otherwise, yeah, you do end up shooting yourself in the foot. In this case, his friend injected some shell got ejected from the gun, and that hit his leg, and that's what caused the wound. And so Pete didn't actually. He did.
He
God,
jacked it
this
all over
is,
his
this
buddy.
is
there.
about as good as my Tim Anderson rebuttal. I think in the end, Pete didn't actually shoot himself, but he was shot by another guy, which I think is even more badass. So
Well,
let's
definitely
go
more
with that.
badass than
Yeah.
shooting yourself.
I mean, he's like the.
So how
he's
is this
the-
a rebuttal?
He's like the
Like-
10 cent.
it's a rebuttal that he wanted to clear the air.
No,
he didn't
Pete-
shoot
no,
himself
what
because
Pete-
So
He-
come
big
on
on
the
safety.
air and talk about it
No,
yourself.
He
You got shot.
He got
still.
men because he felt like, as a gun owner, he felt like, all right, no, I'm not irresponsible with my guns. I'm not my firearms. No, but what I'm saying is, it was an accident
the
that happened
rebuttal.
on the range. It wasn't Pete actually shooting himself accidentally in the foot. So let's clear the air on that.
Yeah, the accident
This-
was his friend was holding the gun backwards.
No, it's not true. All right.
It is true.
Moving on to the question of the week. So we've been talking a lot about building our own facility or, things like that. If you were building your own facility, who would you use to demolish the old building first? And then who in the league would you want to lead the charge for building the new?
Isn't that an easy answer for who would build the new one though?
No, I don't know. Who's your answer?
Donald Trump. Make
Rochester
floor
Hockey
hockey
League
great again.
He's putting balls everywhere.
That's right. There we go. We got
Well,
the
the-
answer on that one.
And they're gonna pay for it.
As far as demolishing, absolutely demolishing the league, I think it's pretty easy
We'll just say it then.
to go into this week. It's obviously the guy that's ready to fight to get his team to the top, and it's gonna be me. Of course, I want to make sure that we're fighting for the best position to get his team to the top. No, of course I'm picking Ian because I think with his fists he would just be able to knock down any wall in front of him, and those gloves dropping anywhere that he wants to. So, but the person that I want to build it. See, it's tough. I'd like to go with Mike Bryant because obviously he's in that division, but I'm picking Steve Schultz. Steve Schultz, I feel like, is going to be the man for the job. This guy is going to build this most beautiful structure that we want to make.
I heard he's going to start with one guy and eventually have 300 guys building it.
301. 301.
Who else?
I got one. I got it.
Yeah, Skirt's gotta go.
What I'm gonna to demolish it. I've got a team. You need a team.
No,
You
only
can't-
one.
No.
You didn't use a team.
Yeah, I gotta use a team. I've got.
Tribe called Quest.
No, we can't demolish it. No, I'd do the Furious Five. Actually, that's it. I'm just gonna have the Furious Five demolish the wall. I'm gonna say, you know what? I'm gonna put a whistle on the wall and be like,
Scott
that
is
ref
a
just
wall.
blew a bad call. Boom, wall gone. We're good. To rebuild it, though, I do have a team. It's Dan Gladding designs the plans. Mike Bryant does a rendering. I bring in Chris Enright, Gianni. All these guys work. They
Enright's
all
a
work in the
workhorse.
building trades. They know their shit. They could, you know what? When they're not busy deconstructing a defense, they're busy building the rest of the world. They're making America great again.
What?
Those
what's
two
defense?
guys, what?
I don't even know what defense is.
Enright and Gianni are building this building that Steve Schultz is going to fund for us because he believes in this league. He's been in it one season. He already sees
even
the
one
magic.
season.
He's in the magic of this league. He loves us. He gets what we're about, and I think that I think we're good.
That building's gonna suck.
Where's
if
it?
Gianni builds
Where
it.
do we buy? We didn't buy any real estate though.
All right.
It's gonna suck. Oh my god, that went right over my head, Conco. Nice.
So
Well played.
I haven't thought about this answer before I asked it because I didn't even really think about the question until I asked it. I'm gonna go Shane Humphrey to be the guy that knocks it down.
Oh my God, he could
'cause-
just run into it.
Yeah, he's
Holy
a.
crap.
He
I
almost
mean,
took
he's a
the
beast.
building out this week.
Yeah, me. I was gonna go Gaffey Zato to build it because he's an engineer, but he couldn't even work the clock. So, so I'm gonna go
It'd be a government.
a
job
team
if
of
he did it, yeah.
three men: Kevin Baldwin, J.J. Wagner, and Andy Goffin, because they just don't stop. And I feel like they're gonna get this job done in like a third of the time as anyone else because they're just gonna work days, nights, weekends, whatever it takes to build it.
I think I'm gonna go with Chris Maczkowski. He's gonna blow it down.
Sorry, was that Chris Matrick's money?
And then I'm gonna have Andy, Gaffey, and Marfione. They're gonna build it. But Dan Glading is going to
Matt
design it.
Marfione?
Matt Marfione.
Or Paul Marfione.
Matt Marfione.
What
Matt
does Matt
Marfione.
Marfione build up?
Matt Marfione, Andy Goffin,
Built a great
and Gaff Fay are all going to build it. And then
I didn't
And
even
they will
get.
come.
I didn't.
Wow.
Dan Glading is going to design it after Joe's hair. It's
It's
going to
going
be
to
so.
be like the Sydney Opera House, except it'll be
It's going to be
Joe's
so
hair.
aesthetically pleasing. Everybody's going to be there.
We're just going to play Jet Sphere.
I'm going with Steve Newberry to take the building down. He's gonna.
Oh, good.
He's gonna have a hockey stick and he's gonna look like Mario from Donkey Kong. And to build it up, I had it. Now I gotta remember. Oh, Matt Galuli. Just because from the minute that he got involved with making decisions for this league and helping out with the podcast, he's been like 180% dedicated to it. So he'll make sure it's done right.
Not to mention he makes it feel official.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
That's
also
why I'm
have
out.
Mike Bryant build up because he's really good at building other people up.
That's
true.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
I see
you
what
know,
did there.
and this is something that I do have to talk about because when we were down, it was like 3 goals left in the game. I'm
Hey,
throwing my
the recap was like
Yeah,
3
yeah.
days ago.
yeah, I know, but still, I'm throwing my stick around. I go out into the hallway, and Mike Bryan is sitting there talking to Kyle Antilla, and he's just having a good time. And I'm throwing my stick around, and I'm pissed off. And Mike just looks at me and goes, "Hey, Pete, how many goals you down by?" "Oh, we're down by 3 goals." Get a drink of water, go back. This guy is the nicest freaking guy in the world. Like, is there anyone better than him? Seriously? I love this
Yeah,
guy.
Jeremy.
Besides
Jeremy
Bonet.
says he is.
Jeremy, you're my brother. He's better than you.
Wow. That's going to be his best man speech, too. Jeremy, you're my brother. I love you, but Mike Bryan's better than you.
I love you, but I wish I was at Mike
I would
Bryant's
accept
wedding.
It'd be the best man speech ever.
Yeah.
All right, Jeremy, go ahead.
So, I don't know if you guys know much about demolishing buildings, but the only safe way to do that is with jet. No, I'm just kidding. You implode a building. So who's good at imploding? Sugar Hill Gang in the second period.
It's gotta be during the second period, though.
So that's how the building's coming down. Just a giant implosion in the second period of this building by the Sugar Hill Gang.
Are you guys gonna hold it up in the first and third?
And then putting this building back together, I don't know. You pick
Sugar
it.
Hill Gang doesn't do that.
No. Let's see. Let's see here. Dave Foss. Because why the fuck not?
Yeah, he built the website.
Yeah,
Built the
website.
website. Build the building.
Build the website.
All right. Well,
Good stuff.
the best.
thank you for listening to the Circle of Jerks Week 10 Preview Edition. Is it Wednesday yet?